I went to NASA's website and I noticed there were 4 total lunar eclipses, which is considered a blood moon when it turns totally red, that were happening in 2014 and 2015. And when I found they also fell on Passover and Sukkot, or Passover and Tabernacles, both years, I thought, wow, God is trying to send a signal to us. That's what it says in Genesis. They're happening on his feast days. And so I'm thinking, wow, what are the odds of having 4 total lunar eclipses in a row? And then on top of that, what are the odds of happening on the feast days, his appointed times? Well, here's what we have. Both solar and lunar eclipses, starting just this last Passover, over the next year and a half, you only average 1 total lunar eclipse every year and a half. Mathematically, that's what it is mathematically. Right now, we're facing 4 total lunar eclipses within a year and a half, not 1. And they're falling on the feast days. And so the question is, well, how often does that happen? The last time we had 4 blood moons in a row on Passover and Tabernacles was 1967 and 68 when Israel captured Jerusalem. The time before that was right after they became a nation in 1948. It happened in 1949 and 1950. And so now I'm thinking, oh my goodness, what does this mean? When I look at the patterns of history of what has happened and I see where we're in right now, but I knew God had to be 100% correct. It's not only lunar eclipses, but also solar eclipses. And I noticed there's a total solar eclipse on Nisan 1. I don't know if you know what Nisan 1 is, but that's the beginning of the religious calendar. That's when the fire fell from heaven at the inauguration of Moses' tabernacle, the grand opening ceremony. It begins the religious calendar year. So here we have these, and then on Rosh Hashanah, there's a solar eclipse next year. And so what does this portend? Well, one thing I tell everybody, you can put it in your own theological pipe and smoke it like you want. Okay? I'm not setting dates. I do not control eclipses. I do not control the biblical calendar. But like a scientist, I look at the patterns. And I see what happened in 48. You had a biblically prophetic war with Israel. I look what happened in 67, a biblically prophetic war with Israel. What is happening right now? I don't know what's going to happen, but looking at the odds, I'm no prophet. As a matter of fact, I jokingly say we truly are a non-profit ministry. But I tell you what, when you look at the pattern, there's a good chance we could see some very interesting things happen this next year and a half. So we need to be watching and praying. That's what my message is to you. The church needs to wake up and get to work.